Welcome to Thomas Race CHINWAG, Quiz of the Month edition. At the start of each month, we'll reflect on the goings-on in Formula 1 of the month prior. 20 questions, 4 possible answers. Let's see if you've been paying attention. Play along live on YouTube or after the fact on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. My name's Tommo. Let's talk about it. And welcome back. My name is Tommo. Welcome to the Quiz of the Month for the month of May 2025. It's my pleasure to test your brains today. How we feeling, everyone? How we feeling in the live chat? You're here live on YouTube, you're here after the fact on YouTube, you're here on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and the rest also after the fact, if you so choose. Tina, Pontus, Halita, Mitt, Sevo, Brookler, J-Pro, Thu, Izzy, Tomato, Liam, Corridor, Harvey. Now, if you are here live, obviously be sure to keep clear of the live chat if you don't want spoilers, if you want to just do it yourself, or chuck your answers in the live chat as we go. Play along however you choose, all right? This quiz is built for you, primarily. Only questions to do with things that have happened in the month of May, broadly. Maybe there's a little bit of nuance there, but should we just get into it? Should we faff around, or should we continue talking, or shall I just start the quiz? I think I should, but make sure you like the stream, rate, comment, 5-star, whatever. Do it now before I've shown you it's any good, because blind loyalty is exactly what I'm looking for. Tina, you hope you're better this month. Well, we'll see. I want to see your scores as well. Keep your scores in the live chat. Get your scores down in the comments below. 20 questions, all with 4 possible answers, just as intro Tommo said. And I'm sure you'll do fine. I'll try and make this difficult. I'll try and make it as niche as I can with certain questions. I don't want any 20. If any of you got 20 out of 20, you're lying. There's no way anyone gets 20 out of 20 on this quiz, okay? I promise you that. So let's get some background music going as well, because it's always better with a bit of dulcet Gran Turismo tones in the background. And shall we crack on? Let's get started. My name's Tommo. This is Tommo's Quiz of the Month. And this is question number 1. At the Miami Grand Prix, the F1 Movie was in town and showed off an unusual marketing activity to promote the upcoming film. But what was this unusual marketing activity? Was it a fake Brundle grid walk, an Apex GP yacht in the harbour, soundtrack artists' names on the garages, or were Brad and Damson on the driver's parade? You have 30 seconds to give me your answer. I don't think the music's too loud. Maybe turn it down a little bit. 20 seconds to go. What would the F1 movie plan at? Coming out later this month, of course, now that we are in the month of June, but this is all about stuff that happened in May. What was going on? What was going on in the Miami Grand Prix paddock with 4 seconds, 3, 2, 1? The answer is soundtrack artist names on the garages. You had Ed Sheeran above Lewis's garage. Can't remember any other ones, but that was a thing. Apparently, it wasn't a bit weird, if you ask me. I can't say I was like, oh wow, that's really cool or interesting. It was just, it is what it is. Tate McRae, yeah, she's got a song. There's quite a lot of pretty big names dropping music for the F1 movie. Is there going to be much moving? Is it just going to be 2 hours of music with Brad Pitt in the background? Guess remains to be seen, doesn't it? Okay, so the answer was C for question number 1. Question number 2. Miami has had its contract extended even further on into the future. But when is this contract extension, the newest one, taking it until? Is it 2029, 2033, 2037, or 2041? You have 30 seconds. It was alright. Miami was decent this year. Decent race. I still think they could do with some changes to the track, in my opinion. That would be, and there's room, there's scope, because it's a car park. So it's going to be around for a while. It's one of these 4 numbers. How long? You're going to find out in 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The answer is 2041. In fact, it already had a deal till 2031, and then they added another 10 years on top of it. So Miami's going to be about for ages, which again, look, it's a cool place to go. The paddock's different, you know, the Hard Rock Stadium's kind of interesting. It's unique in that regard. The track could definitely do with some work, but I like to think the fact that we've got it for another 16 years means that they will be open to making a few modifications, you know. I don't mind it. It's a bit awkward in places, that kind of final sector before the main back straight, kind of middle sector, whatever you want to call it, is a bit but I mean, it's a challenging qualifying. You've got the S's, which are kind of cool. It needs a bit of work, I think, and it's obviously zero undulation because it's a car park, flat as a pancake. So, but we'll see. F1 Academy race was good. There you go. Right, 2 out of 2. For you, you got 2 out of 2. Well done if you have. Should we move on to question 3? Let's do exactly that. Question number 3. Andrea Kimi Antonelli took a superb pole position in Miami sprint qualifying. How much faster was he than his teammate George Russell in that SQ3 session? Was it 0.109, 0.209, 0.309 or 0.409 of a second quicker than George Russell in SQ3 to take pole position in the sprint quali session? How much faster was Kimi than George? I mean, fair play, Kimi. Look, the thing is, juniors can come in and be quick over a lap straight away. His race pace needs some work. Tyre management needs work. We saw that from Oscar Piastri last year. And it's taken him 2 full seasons, but he's finally on top of it. Let's see how Kimi does. The answer is 0.309 of a second. It's C. C is the answer. Pretty significant. 3/10. 3/10 on George. Kimi did a 126.482. George did a 126.791. That is 3/10 and a little bit on top for good measure. Well done, Kimi. Very, very, very good. They've got a little diamond on their hands of Mercedes. No doubt in my mind about that at all. Question number 4. Lewis Hamilton has had a pretty tough run of it during this European triple header. But how many points has Lewis scored in the last 3 Grand Prix weekends? 30, 34, 38 or 42 points. Only in these last 3 races. European triple header. Imola, Monaco, Spain. How many points has Lewis scored in those 3 Grand Prix? 30, 34, 38 or 42. Which, I mean, is not nothing. You know, it will come good. My video this week's going to be about Lewis later in the week. We can talk a bit more about it. But he was very unhappy, wasn't he? Very dejected after Spain. The answer is 30. 30 points he scored, which is a P4 in Imola, a P5 in Monaco, a P6 in Spain. So a 4, 5 and 6, which is 12 plus 10 plus 8 equals 30. Quick maths. Lovely jubbly. Well done to anyone who put A. You are correct. Okay. Lovely jubbly. Right. Question number 5. The drivers' parade at Miami was replaced with a Lego F1 car race. Who won the Lego F1 car race? Was it Mercedes, Haas, Racing Bulls or Alpine? Now, of course, they didn't make 2 cars for every team. They made 1 car for every team. And then both drivers got in the same car. Okay. I mean, it took them like thousands of hours to build these Lego cars, which then the drivers destroyed, which was nice of them. They're not going to make 2. They want to make 20 Lego F1 cars. But yeah, who won the race? Someone did win that race. One of these 4 teams. And that team was Alpine. Pierre Gasly and Jack Doohan. memories. Jack Doohan won that race. Pierre was at the wheel, Jack was in the back. Ahead of Ferrari in P2 and Aston Martin in P3. What a podium! Alpine, Ferrari, Aston Martin. Come on, that's an unbelievable podium. Scenes. Well done. George did his best to try and take out Pierre in the final corner, didn't he? But then he put the Williams boys into the wall. So classic George, eh? Okay. Question number 6. Moving through. What we got? On May the 7th, it was announced that Franco Colapinto would replace Jack Doohan with immediate effect. What was Jack's average qualifying deficit to Pierre, according to my spreadsheet, in the 6 races he competed in 2025? Was it 0.271, 0.321, 0.371 or 0.421 of a second? The average delta, the gap that Jack Doohan was behind Pierre Gasly in those 6 Grand Prix, according to me, right, my spreadsheet that I was using to keep track, what was the average? Were you paying attention in the streams up until the point that Jack got dropped, in which case now he's no longer on, he's still on my spreadsheet, but you don't see it because I just replaced him with Franco. But what was the average gap? How far was Jack behind Pierre on average in those 6 races? The answer is 0.271 of a second. A lot of you said C there actually, 0.371, but no, it's 0.271. So within 3 tenths. In fact, the head-to-head was on Pierre's obviously in Pierre's favour, but 5-3. So Jack did get 3 dubs over Pierre in qualifying, which is not too bad because 6 races, including 2 sprints. So there were 2 sprint qualies shoved in there as well, which wasn't bad, you know. It's just, you know, Jack's been in that team for a long time. He had a lot of TPC running, it's a lot of simulator running, and obviously got pre-season testing, got Abu Dhabi at the end of last year, and ran 6 Grand Prix. We haven't seen Colapinto do a level equivalent to Jack's best weekend yet. I think we will. Franco will get there. He's, again, not had anywhere near the experience Jack has had with this team and this car, so fair enough. You know, you got to give Franco time, but yeah, Jack definitely didn't deserve to be dropped. I think that's pretty clear in my mind. Anyway, question number 7. Let's go. Carlos Sainz Sr. announced that he's considering a run for the FIA president role. Very exciting. Who said this when asked whether Sainz would be a good fit for the role? He's got a really logical view on how the sport is constructed and how he's got to where he is at the moment. I'm reading this terribly. And what can actually help and around it. He's got a really logical view in how the sport is constructed and how he's got to where he is at the moment and what can actually help in and around it. Who said that? Was it James Allison, Andy Cowell, Rob Marshall or James Vowles? Who said that quote? The quote in white on screen. Who said these words? James Allison, obviously, technical director? His title at Mercedes. Andy Cowell, team principal at Aston Martin. Rob Marshall, not technical director at McLaren, is he? He's like aero or chassis. Oh, I can't remember. Marshall's the flexi wing guy, and obviously James Vowles, team principal of Williams. The answer is, of course, James Vowles. It's a very James Vowles thing to say. Very logical, but I felt like I could have seen these words coming out of any one of those 4 individuals' mouths. But most of you did get this right. It was James Vowles. So well done. Question number 8. Ollie Oaks made his shock resignation announcement as Alpine team principal in May. Ollie raced himself back in the day. In which year did he race Formula Renault 2.0 against numerous F1 drivers, including Valtteri Bottas and Brendan Hartley? Was it 2004, 2007, 2011, 2013? You have 30 seconds. In what one of these years did, and it was actually a couple of championships, he was against Bottas, he was against Hartley, he was against Jean-Eric Verne as well, Charles Pic, Chucking some other names in there as well. Little teasers. Because Ollie used to race. He raced at a very good level, did Ollie Oaks. Didn't quite make it to the top, and obviously decided team management was the way forward for him. He's gone back to high tech now. The answer is 2007. 2007 is when Ollie Oaks, and he did fine. He didn't do. He was fourth in one of the series, and Valtteri was third. So he was somewhat competitive some of the time, but nothing special. You know, nothing. Sorry, Ollie, but it's just the way it is. All right. Okay. Question number 9. This year's Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix was Sauber's 600th race in Formula 1. Which of these 4 famous F1 brand sponsors / suppliers have they not run on their F1 car livery before? Ford, Petronas, Shell or Red Bull? Sauber's first season, the year I was born, they're as old as me, 1993, back in day. And at some point over the 600 Grand Prix in the 32 years, they have run 3 of these 4 brands as a sponsor on their car. Be that just a sponsor or a supplier, whatever. Which one is the odd one out? Which one have they not run? The answer is C, Shell. In fact, very reasonably famously, Sauber were the team to first introduce Red Bull and Petronas to Formula 1. See, now Red Bull have their own team. Now Petronas are title sponsors for Mercedes-AMG Petronas Formula 1 team. And Ford are, hooking up with Red Bull for their new power unit. So, yeah, it's only Shell that haven't. Ford were supplying Sauber at the start as well. And so you had a big Ford logo and a big Red Bull logo. And then Petronas came in. And for a long time, we had the teal of Petronas with the blue of Red Bull, which it's iconic because it stands out. But it's, I think, quite ugly. I was looking at pictures. You can look up yourself. But yeah, Ford, Petronas and Red Bull have all been on a Sauber, but never Shell. Never Shell. All right, question 10. We'll have a little break after this. We'll be halfway through. Here we go. Yuki had a nasty shunt in qualifying at Imola. He had a new upgraded component on his car that weekend. I don't know why I wrote 2. Because of the accident, he's been unable to run that upgrade again since. But what was that upgraded part on his car? Was it a upgraded diffuser, floor, brake ducts, or roll hoop? Roll hoop? Roll hoop. Roll hoop. I can't speak today, which is a problem when you're hosting a quiz that's live and you can't edit it. What was the item? So Yuki broke it in the crash and hasn't been able to run it since. In Imola, because obviously they didn't have enough, and they're not going to not give Max the upgrades, obviously, to give it to Yuki because he shunted in Imola. Big shunt, but he got out fine, which is the main thing. The answer is B, floor. It was a floor. He had a new floor in Imola, and he broke it, and he hasn't got it back since. He's been running the old floor since Imola, which has not helped his fortunes, I'm sure, but maybe it's a 10th of performance. It's not a huge amount. It certainly doesn't explain him qualifying last time out. So yes, floor it is. Right, give me your scores so far, everyone, please, in the live chat. What we doing? What we looking at? We doing well? We doing badly? Got 6 out of 10 for Louis. 8, Halia. 8. Go on. Mitsuvo, 3. Happens to the best of us. 6 for Izzy. Dan, you've got 9. Very good. Very good. Uma, 8. A 10th is huge in qualifying J-Pro. Yeah, but it still wouldn't have got him out of Q1. So, he still would have gone out in Q1. Would he have been ahead of Colapinto if he was a 10th quicker? I think he would have. He still would have been like P19 though. Matteo, 1 out of 2. Something tells me you're late. DH, 3 out of 4. You're definitely late as well. Johnny, 3 out of 10. Freya, 7 out of 10. Brookler, 6 out of 10. Okay. I'm glad you like the questions. arts. We've got 10 more to go. A little hydration break. Should we do it? No time like the present, right? No time like the present. Let's go with question number 11. Boop. Only one team opted to use the medium C5 tyre instead of the soft C6 in Q3 at Imola. Who? Was it Racing Bulls, Aston Martin, Williams or Mercedes? Which team in Q3 went with a medium? Only one team did. Who? Who was it? I don't know. C6 has been a bit weird, so it's obviously a new tyre for this year. And Imola was the first time we saw it. They run it in Monaco as well. The softest compound, an additional soft step beyond the C5. And one team decided, you know what, in Q3, we're actually going to go with a C5. The medium. And that team was Aston Martin. It was both Aston Martin drivers. In fact, both drivers in Q3 went with the C6 soft on their first Q3 ones, and then both, so Lawrence and Fernando then both went out again, but on the mediums, and both improved. So they both set their best times in Q3 on the C5 medium instead of the C6 soft, which I thought was pretty interesting. I thought that was pretty interesting. So yeah, when you look at the final pecking order, it's a C of S's and then 2 M's, and they're both Aston Martins. There you go. Okay, question number 12. Max put an unbelievable move on Oscar into turn 2 at Imola, a move largely done on the brakes. According to Autosport supplied telemetry, how much faster was Verstappen going into the braking zone than Piastri? Was he going 10 kilometers an hour faster, 20 kilometers an hour faster, 30 or 40 kilometers an hour faster? Now, for anyone who doesn't understand kilometers, 10 kilometers is about 6.2 miles an hour. So 6.2 miles an hour, 12.4, 18.6 or 24.8 miles an hour. There are your 4 options. How much faster was Max going into the braking zone before getting on the brakes than Oscar? Because clearly he was carrying more speed. But how much more? Educated guess on this one, I think. 2, 1. The answer is 30 kilometers an hour. He was 18.6. This is obviously not exactly, but closest to miles an hour quicker than Oscar. Got it, stops on the brakes, got it round the outside. Job done. What a move. What a move. And he had his foot on the throttle for 10 meters longer than Oscar did. That's kind of a way of visualizing it. So Max was on the throttle for 10 minutes longer than Oscar. Oscar lifted off sooner. Max broke later and carried more speed. Made the corner. Job done. What a move. Okay. Question 13. Let's go again. Which driver said this to media after the F1 movie premiere? I was brilliant in it. Was it George Russell, Nico Hülkenberg, Carlos Sainz or Lando Norris? I was brilliant in it. Who was gushing over their performance in the F1 movie? Who said they were brilliant in it? I'm interested to see it. I'm interested. I think it's going to be more on the over-dramatized DTS side, but it's going to be cool seeing the real drivers in it. I think that's going to be interesting, and I think the visuals are going to look amazing. I think the story is going to probably be a bit cringe, but is what it is. The answer is D. Lando Norris. This was Lando. He's been, you know what? He's been funny as of late. Actually, he's been dropping some good humour. Him saying, "Oh, Oscar's got a lot to say about the Max incident." Just passing it on to him was good. I enjoyed that. They got very sibling energy, them two. Very sibling energy. Okay. Question 14. Let's go. We go again. Okay. Which of these 4 drivers did not have at least one crash during the Monaco GP weekend? Isaac Hadjar, Oscar Piastri, Gabriel Bortoleto, or Franco Colapinto? Which one of them didn't have any shunts in Monaco at any point of the weekend? Any point of the weekend. Okay. Epi 1, 2, 3. I was going to say 4. That's not a thing. Qualifying or the race. Who's the only one who did not have any shunts? Gabriel Bortoleto. I know that's not the pronunciation, but it's better than Bortoleto, isn't it? The answer is D. Franco Colapinto did not shunt. All of the others did. Isaac clipped the wall, didn't he? In practice, Oscar went off at turn 1 in practice, and obviously Bortoleto had a little shunt, you know, side by side with Kimi Antonelli in the race, didn't he? But he kept going. It is a beautiful accident, isn't it? It's honestly glorious. You know, you lot are very, very fortunate to be the dulcet tones of Tommo. Bortoleto is better. Yeah, I agree. It is. I agree. I think Gabby should take it up. You know. Right. Question number 15. The mandatory 2-stop at Monaco did not fix the race. Sad. Who was the only driver to finish that race 3 laps down? Was it Kimi Antonelli, Ollie Behrman, Lance Stroll, or Nico Hülkenberg? Nico Hülkenberg. Who was it? Come on. Come on. Bro, it's not even in ends anymore. Would you leave me alone, Will? Alright? Leave me alone. Don't cyberbully me, okay? Stay as far away from the Gants as possible. Who's the only driver to finish 3 laps down in Monaco? Lots of them finished 2, but only one driver finished 3 laps down. And that driver was Andrea Kimi Antonelli. Not a good weekend. Not a good triple header for Kimi. He's very raw. Got a lot of talent there, but it just didn't come together for him, did it? In Monaco. Oh no. You're right. I literally had one job. After Monaco, George Russell has said to media that Alex Albon owed him dinner after holding him up for most of the Grand Prix. According to Alex, what did George order for said dinner? Was it a Wagyu steak, caviar and scallops, lobster pasta, or a bluefish tuna? I'm so annoyed at myself because this was like the question that when I found it, I was like, yeah, this is a sick idea for a question. See, I reckon there's a good chance it's caviar and scallops. Or a bluefin tuna. It's very expensive fish. It's very expensive. What do you reckon? You give yourself amnesia, and then all of a sudden you don't know that the answer is C, lobster pasta. Could it be C? It could. It could be C, and it is C. Let's move on. For God's sake, Tommo. Honestly, what a knobhead. Question 17. We go again. It was revealed last weekend that Max Verstappen now owns an FIA license necessary for him to compete in WC, Le Mans, etc. Which rating is the license that he received? Is it A, gold, diamond, platinum, or ruby rating license? So the idea of this FIA license thing is to when you go into these competitions that are more kind of like 24-hour team races, whatever, and you sometimes have a spread of ability, you might have certain drivers with certain ratings, other drivers with other ratings. You're not allowed to have too many drivers with too high a rating or too low a rating, basically, is the long and the short of it. But which is Max's new license? Is it gold, diamond, platinum, or ruby? The answer is platinum. It's a platinum license he's got. Straight in. He joked that he hoped he'd get bronze because obviously then he'd get, easier pairings. But alas, being a 4-time world champion kind of entitles you to a platinum license straight away. In fact, just being an F1 driver basically gets you a platinum license. So, let alone Let alone just owning the sport like he has for the longest time. Anyway, question 18. In qualifying around Catalonia, what was the entire field spread in Q1 between Oscar Piastri in P1 and Yuki Tsunoda in P20? Was it 0.634, 0.834, 1.034, or 1.234 seconds? The whole field spread from Oscar, who went quickest in Q1 in Spain, to Yuki, P20, slowest. What was the field spread? This is a math question, basically. Can you work it out? Can you work it out? 3, 2, 1. The answer is B. 0.834 of a second. The entire field, which is pretty crazy. Well, I guess. I mean, it's it's only a memory question if I've told you this, and I have told you this already. So you're right, Will. It's a memory question. 0.834 of a second. Pretty crazy. Which, I mean, look, you can. This is the problem. If Yuki is 0.6 off of Max, then Max isn't even put it on a pole right now, and the whole field spread is, 0.8 of a second. Then you're not going to see him out of many Q1s, unfortunately. Damn. Okay. Question 19. I still can't believe I messed up the lobster pasta question, honestly. I'm so fuming with myself. Right. Okay. After 6 weekends so far in Formula 2, who is the highest placed driver in the championship to have not won a sprint or feature race so far this season? Is it Victor Martin, Pepe Marti, Leonardo Fornaroli, or Luke Browning? So who's the highest place in the driver's standings who's not won a sprint or a feature race so far yet in F2 this season? Let me know. Who do you think? F2 question. I know, right? I'm going to get a couple of not F1 questions to round this off. Who do you reckon? Not someone who's got no idea? Who are any of these people? Will, educate yourself, man. Come on. Be a man of culture. Be an F2 enjoyer. The answer is D. Luke Browning. He is the highest placed driver. Pepe Marte. Pepe Marte. What even is that? Pepe Marte won the Bahrain sprint. Victor and Leonardo haven't won any races yet, but they are both behind Luke in the F2 Driver Championship. So the answer is Luke Browning. And the final question of Quiz of the Month for May is: F1 Academy had its second race in Miami cancelled due to torrential rain, which was a shame. In qualifying, the top 4 were split by less than 1/10 of a second as well. Very tight. But who took pole position in Miami? Was it Chloe Chambers, Dorian Pain, Alicia Pomowski, or Ella Lloyd? I watched the first episode of the F1 Academy thing on Netflix, by the way, last night. So watched it while we were having dinner. Might watch another one tonight. Interesting. Very interesting insights. It was the kind of classic Netflix style of retelling the same thing again and again. I feel like the episode could have been a lot shorter than it was. It definitely could have been a lot shorter than it was. But it was interesting to learn a bit more about Leah and Bianca. That was episode 1 anyway, focused on them two primarily. And the answer is A. Chloe Chambers, the former Haas driver, now Red Bull affiliated. And she's got 2 out of 3 pole positions so far this season on the 3 events we've had in F1 Academy. So keep an eye on Chloe. Obviously know Abby Pulling this year in F1 Academy. Dorian, you'd expect her to be favourite, but Alicia's pretty rapid and all. So Chloe takes that one, and that is the quiz done. Excellent. I still managed to find a way to cock it up, didn't I? But please let me know your scores in the live chat, including the freebie that I gave to you. If you weren't paying attention, then that's your own fault. Okay. Just chucked a freebie in there, and it was the question I was most proud of as well. It'll be on my search history. I looked up expensive dinners, and I was like, oh, a bluefin tuna. That sounds expensive, so I'm going to put that in. I literally looked that up because I don't know what a bluefin tuna is. I'm tuna out of a tin. You know what I mean? So right, what we saying? Cowrie got 17. Very, very good. J Pro, you got 8. B-Nut, you got 10. Only out of 13 though, so you didn't do the full quiz. Alexic, you got 15. Frey got 15 as well. Decent. 7 out of 20 with the freebie, Mitsuvo. You take those freebies. Tomato, you got 9. You got 6 straight wrong. It happens. It happens to the best of us, you know. Toxify got 14. Louis, you got 13. 14 including question 16. You can include it. People can't eat a whole bluefin tuna, which is very expensive. Still premium food though. Well, yeah, but in Monaco, surely they're going to be selling like the most expensive tuna. Yeah, I'm sorry as well. I'm sorry to myself for messing up my favourite question. But there you go. Okay, if you found this one enjoying, sometimes my capacity for the English language is deeply questionable. But if you did enjoy this quiz, please let me know in the comments down below. Yeah, I want to keep these up. They definitely don't get the viewership, but I'm hoping, because I enjoy doing these, they do take quite a bit of time. Hence why I'm extra annoyed at myself for messing up the question. But again, we move. Yeah, give it some love and support. Video later this week. Going to do one on Lewis. I want to talk about his time at Ferrari and my expectations going forward, because I've definitely not lost all hope, even though the way he's been talking, it feels like he has. But I think that's just the way Lewis goes about things. So thank you all for joining. I really do appreciate you all taking the time. My name's Tommo. Thanks again. Have a good one. Ta-da.